Um, I'm 32 years old, soon to be 33 years old. I started using drugs when I was 12. My first drug was marijuana. When I was about 15, I tried cocaine. I went to ecstasy, and by the time I was 18, I was off and running in methamphetamines. I never really drank much. You know, a lot of people ask me, how did the 12-step program help me get sober if you didn't drink? Well, I just jumped straight into drugs, but then people are the same loving, caring people as if you were an alcoholic. I stopped for a while. I had kids, and everything started again once I had my second child. I had him in 2008. I had 5 surgeries. I was working on my 6th surgery by November of 2009. Them 5 surgeries led me to multiple prescriptions of Percocets, Oxycontins, Opanas, morphine. When the doctors refused to give them to me anymore, I found other ways. I went to the hospital every single night. I found other doctors. By 2010, I was catching my first felony case, and it was 3 charges of deception to obtain narcotics. It made it hard to go into a hospital anymore, and to walk out with the pain pills that I wanted. I did get in trouble, and I got put on probation for them 3 felonies. I went to detox. I stayed clean for about 30 days. And then I ended up getting meningitis. I woke up in ICU, and I woke up to them giving me Percocets and morphine. So that started, you know, that woke up the demon, and I was off and running again. With pain pills being a little bit too expensive on the streets and me not having a job, I quickly turned to heroin. You know, the first time I did it, I didn't like it. I was with a friend. I wanted pills instead. He shot me up with heroin. He told me it would last longer and it was cheaper. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the effects from it. I didn't like that I was throwing up. I just didn't like the feel. But then when I realized that there was nothing else out here to get, then I quickly ran back to the heroin. And that's where I started my heroin journey in 2011. You know, at the beginning it was fun. I figured, hey, you know, it's just another high. But then once it became a job, you know, I had 2 kids at home. I had 3 nieces. It was something that I put before them. It was something I put before my family. And that just, it was something that I couldn't control. You know, it got to that point where I would wake up in the morning, and instead of most people, oh, well, we're going to feed our kids, I was, oh, well, how am I going to get high today? You know, I did bath salt for a little while in between the heroin. For whatever reason, I don't even know, but I quickly ran back to the heroin. I had gotten arrested a couple times. I went to Glenwood jail, you know, and people say, oh, you go to jail and you come home and you're clean. Well, nope. The only thing I could wait for was to come home and get high. You know, it's that obsession. It just talks to you and it stays with you. And, you know, you feed on that, and your mind's telling you that you need this and you want this and there's no other way of life. And for the longest time, that's what I thought. I thought forever that I was going to die a junkie. I would tell people that I'm a junkie and that's the way I'm supposed to be. Until my baby's dad went to prison. and I was left out here by myself. You know, it didn't stop me from using. I continued to use, but I needed, I don't know exactly what I needed. I ended up getting myself in trouble. 2013, September 25th. I went to jail. I was with my kids school shopping at JCPenney's on Roaming Road, and they went inside the store with their grandma. I stayed outside. I waited for the dope man. I got high. And then I went in the store. I came out of the store with my children, and the police, as soon as I stepped off the sidewalk, they got me. They surrounded me like I had murdered somebody. And for my kids to see me have to go through that, you know, and have to stand on the sidewalk with the police, and, you know, it's not something little kids should be going through. From that day on, I got, you know, they started to not respect me. They didn't listen to me. And it's very hurtful for a parent to get that kind of, for your child to show you those kind of actions, to not respect you, and to, you know, and I'd have to ask other people, you know, I'd have to ask their grandma, or I'd have to ask grandpa, please help me, you know, because they don't want to listen to me. I did get 2 felonies and a couple of misdemeanors from that time being arrested. And I got entered into a program called Turning Point. It's in Summit County. It's the old felony drug court. It's just there's new stipulations today. You can either be referred there by probation, which I was, because I'd still been on probation since 2010 because my drug use never led me to successfully complete probation. So my probation officer, instead of referring prison, she referred the Turning Point program. I did that, and I walked in there, and I didn't know, you know, they wanted me to do classes, they wanted me to do treatment, IOP, they wanted me to go to meetings. You know, I didn't know how to do any of that. The only thing I knew how to do was get high, and I continued to get high for probably the first month and a half I was in that program. They did come to me, and they did ask me if I would allow them to help me with, you know, if I would accept this crutch that they were willing to give me. And the crutch was Suboxone. I did. I went to detox. I stayed in detox for 5 days. When I came home, I was on Suboxone. It's not something that, you know, it's not for everybody. A lot of people really look down on me because they said, how are you trading one for the other? You know, it depends on the person. It depends on how you actually take it. It depends, you know, I was prescribed it, and I took it the way that it was supposed to be taken. I wasn't taking no more to get a high feeling, and I wasn't taking no less to get a sick feeling. I was taking it in the manner I was supposed to. You know, that helped me. I started going to, I got involved in a 12-step program. You know, and I followed the rules and the suggestions of what they asked me to do. They asked me to get a sponsor. They asked me to work these steps, and they asked me to keep coming back, and I did. You know, and my first time going in them, I was so lost. I didn't know anybody, you know. I felt all alone. I'm in a room full of people, and I'm just sitting there like nobody's around me. And at the end of that night, then people were so loving. They were so kind. You know, they had been there where I was at before, and they welcomed me. So that's what kept me going back. I ended up getting my first 1-month coin, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world, you know. So that just kept me driven to go get more. You know, I started completing these classes that the courts had asked me to go to, and I started getting certificates, you know. Drug addicts never get certificates. So that was really something. It made me proud of myself and who I was becoming. I would go to meetings and I'd get 2 coins, one for myself and one for my kids. You know, I started taking my kids with me everywhere, and they started seeing the things that I was doing, you know, and it was just giving them a little bit of hope that, hey, something good's gonna happen. I started including them in things instead of leaving them with somebody else to watch them or just leaving them at home, period. You know, I started paying attention. I got more active. I got more active in school. You know, for the first time ever, I've been able to do PTA. That was something big to my kids. I was there for every school function. You know, something I'd never been able to do before. I ended up graduating all those classes. I graduated my IOP. I graduated my aftercare. You know, I started getting sobriety awards through the courts, and it was just this feeling of I can be somebody. And I don't want to have to see people continue to go through what I went through, you know. I was in them dark, dark places. You know, I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to be talked to. I just wanted to, you know, get high and be left alone. And that's not a way to live life. It's not. People say you have to hit your rock bottom before you're willing to get help. And you can't force anybody to do anything. An addict knows when their rock bottom is. Before I started doing all this, I had an apartment, I had a car, I had a job. You know, there were so many things that I had. And I don't have any of them things today. I have a house that, well, I have a roof over my kid's head. You know, that's all I need right now. My kids are fed. My kids don't want or need for anything. You know, I'm able to do things for them. I'm able to take them places today. You know, I might not be where I was when I started using drugs, but I'm where I need to be today. I worked so hard, and I'm so tired of seeing people die. You know, for a while I wouldn't even get on Facebook because every Facebook message or every news feed, every time I scrolled through my news feed, it was RIP or RIH, and it was, man, when are these young people going to quit dying? And it's people younger than me. You know, it was like it was going out there and grabbing everybody, because heroin does not discriminate. It doesn't. You know, I got people in court with me. I got coaches. I got managers of the banks. I got the mothers. I got the fathers. We got it all in court. You know, and so I see it every day, and it was just, I was really affected by it. So I decided that I'm not going to sit around anymore, and I'm not going to watch people die. I've been to more funerals in sobriety than I've been in my life. So I decided to start calling around, and I decided to that I was going to have a walk. You know, a lot of people didn't think that it was going to happen. You know, and a lot of people, I don't really know what they thought. I continued to pray about it. You know, I'm a big believer in the power of prayer, and I prayed and I prayed, and it came to me. I was looking at other heroin groups on Facebook and on the computer, and I had seen how they had big successful walks. So I'm like, that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm walking. And I'm going to get my friends together and people that I know in recovery, and we're going to show those still sick and suffering that you do recover, you can recover, there is a better life. And I've organized this walk. I started in February. My walk is the walk is in 9 days. It's an awareness walk against heroin addiction. It's called Stepping Towards a Solution, Hope After Heroin. Because you ultimately have to step towards the solution, you know. You have to step away from it. And it was kind of fun watching the walk come along, you know, because I'm only one person, so I had to reach out to Facebook quite a few times, you know, my friends in the media, friends that I see on a daily basis, you know, so we did votes on the names, we did votes on, you know, about the ribbons. So I've kept everybody as a part of it the whole entire time that I've planned it. But it is now in 9 short days, and we will be in downtown Akron, right outside the courthouse on High Street. The little grassy area, that's where we're gonna start. And we're gonna walk a little less than 2 miles. And I want everybody to come. You know, I want people to come and see that we do and can recover. It is possible. You know, you don't have to live in them dark, dark places anymore. You can get out and see the light. I just want more people to recover before everybody dies, because that's ultimately what's going to happen. Is jails, deaths, and institutions, and that's where a lot of people are going. And I'm tired of watching these people die. I'm tired of going to funerals. I'm tired of seeing it on my Facebook. There is hope out there. If a person like me can get sober, anybody can get sober.